Good afternoon. This is a regular City Commission meeting for the City of Largo. Today is August 1st, 2023. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask that if you have a cell phone, please turn it to silent or off so that we don't have any interruptions. We're going to start this evening's meeting with an invocation and then the Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand. Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come together today in this city. We ask you for your hand of blessing on this meeting. We ask that you would guide and direct our meetings so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work today and our goals as well. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. The first item on the agenda today is one of my favorite items of the year, a ceremonial item. It's citizens campers.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Fawcett, and I'm one of the children's program supervisors here in the City of Largo. And this summer, in our summer camps, in our full-day camps, we're serving over 450 campers daily. Tonight, it's our great pleasure to tell you about some of the amazing youth in our camps. Each year, each facility nominates one camper who demonstrates respect, responsibility, safety, and good citizenship in their actions and attitudes. Our first nominee and award winner this summer, our Kid City winner is Colin Followell. Colin was nominated by his camp counselor, Miss Lindsay, and he's joined today by Lindsay and our Kid City Summer Camp Director, Brittany Shug. Colin's nomination included so many positive character traits, such as making sure everyone gets a turn, whether they're batting with baseball or playing foosball during a rainy day rotation. Colin understands fairness and he applies it freely. He's always respectful by holding the door open and is picking up trash that doesn't even belong to him. He picks even teams to ensure a good game and makes sure everyone feels that they're part of the group. He even goes above and beyond helping the little ones when it's time for swimming at the pool. Colin's been known to assist with the lost and found items left at the pool and clean up a classroom after snack, whether that's sweeping the floor or wiping down tables. It kind of sounds like Colin should have been on my payroll. Miss Lindsay says Colin is the best kid she's ever had the privilege of working with. He has the best attitude and brings the energy of the group up to the next level. Everyone considers Colin a friend. He participates in every game and every dress-up day, and he has great spirit. Thank you, Colin, for all you do, and congratulations on being the 2023 Citizen Camper for Kid City Summer Camp. The next camper I'd like to recognize is Lila Kohlbecker. Lila was nominated by her camp director, J.C. Yates, from the nature camp at McGow. Lila is a good friend, and we know how important it is to be a good friend. She's always one of the first campers to greet a new kid who hasn't been in camp yet and easily makes them feel comfortable. She's one of the first people to speak up against kids who are being mean, and she makes sure that campers feel welcome at all times. She shows a lot of respect to Donna and JC, the camp directors, following directions and making sure the campers do the same. She is a true leader and is great during the lessons and activities that go on in McGow. Lila always engaged in participating in whatever activity they do and offers to help other campers in any way. She cleans up messes she didn't create and helps set up for various activities without even being asked. Lila always makes sure kids are sticking with their groups on nature walks and field trips and outdoor activities. If anyone gets an injury, she's right there to help. She's so caring. She is a true asset to the camp. She's behaved like one of the counselors in training, way beyond her years already. She wants to help in any way possible. She's always respectful towards the other campers, the counselors, and the people of the public that come to visit McGow. She has helped Nature Camp tremendously throughout the summer and should be recognized for her generosity, responsibility, and kindness that she has shown. Congratulations, Lila, on being the 2023 Nature Camp Citizen Camper. The next camper I'd like to tell you about is Hayden Turner. Hayden was nominated by the Athletic Adventure Camp Director, Dusty Caldwell. Hayden has stood out in the crowd since the beginning of week 1. He's always mindful of the camp and the staff and the other campers in their group. Every time they play at Big Head, he always comes out and plays the games. He's the one who wants to be the captain of the team and gets everyone involved. He's always encouraging the others to play and do a good job so that he can get a big game going. When the game is over, he helps bring all the supplies back in, and he's extremely thoughtful. He makes sure to clean up after what he eats, and when Mr. Dusty's like, "Who left that trash there?" he's the first one to say, "Don't worry, I got it." He's always looking out for others. He plays the games by the rules, and he makes sure to remind others how to play too. Hayden is just one of those kids you can always count on to come to camp with a smile on his face, always wanting to play. The camp staff have really enjoyed having him at Athletic Adventures for the past 2 summers. Congratulations, Hayden, on being Athletic Adventures Citizen Camper 2023. My final presentation this evening is for Finley Arteaga. Finley attends Cool Kids at the Highland Recreation Complex, and she was nominated by her group leader, Ms. Balana. Finley is accompanied this evening by our Assistant Director, Lexi McClendon. There are many ways to describe Finley. She's a leader, a great friend to others, a role model in her group, and she has a smile that can brighten up the whole room. Finley's the first person to alert an adult if another child is hurt, and she's the last one that stops cleaning when it's time to go to the next rotation. Beyond being delightful, in addition to our camp, she's also a role model to the other campers. We appreciate how Finley displays positive character traits such as respect and responsibility all throughout her day. She's also very courageous. You see, she was terrified to take the swim test about halfway through camp. She got the courage and she took the swim test. And when Finley's hand grabbed the edge of the pool in completion, everyone burst into cheers for Finley's success. They were so proud of her for her courage. Not only did she pass, but she made everyone so proud for pushing past her fear and accomplishing such a big task. Her courage is one of the many attributes that Finley possesses. The first name that comes to mind when we need someone responsible and trustworthy to help is always Finley, and she's more than happy to take on any challenge. We can always rely on Finley not only to brighten our days, but to make a true difference in the lives of the people around her. She's bright, hilarious, and kind. We're so happy to have a chance to know her and have her in camp this summer. Congratulations to Finley, our Cool Kids Citizen Camper for 2023.
Your camper.
Great job, guys.
Good job. Next item, we will have citizens comment. If you'd like to speak about something that's on the agenda outside of the consent docket, please wait until that item comes up, and you'll have 3 minutes. We'll give folks just a minute to leave that are leaving. And do we have any cards this evening?
Yes, we have 3 cards. First is John Mondahano.
You should all have a copy of this printout here. And what I'm here for, I'm representing my neighbors in Keene Park to have some consideration to improve the area and improve the safety of the area. To give you a little background, on July 20th, 11 p.m., a driver drove his Chevy Silverado truck at about 50 miles per hour, northbound on Fulton Street, northeast. At the corner of Fulton Street and Keene Park Drive is a T intersection with a stop sign on Fulton. The driver did not stop. He did not slow down. He damaged a vinyl fence in a neighbor's yard whose house is on Lake Hill Lane. He drove across and ran over a small tree, causing the truck to go airborne. The truck proceeded to go through my next door neighbor's yard, took out an entire corner of his house, and ended up coming into my home almost, knocking out a fence and also damaging some screens. He came about this close to my wall in my house, and on the other side of that wall, my wife was sleeping. I'd like to go on to the next photograph of the police department and the fire department. I'd just like to say that the Largo Police Department and the Largo Fire Department did a very, very good job. I was very impressed. On the next slide or page, you can see, I'd like to point out that towards the top is a ceiling fan. Normally you should not be able to see that ceiling fan because there would be a wall there. The driver went through and tore down that wall. In that room was a lot of expensive musical equipment, and occasionally someone sleeps there. I'm going to skip over the damage report, but let's just say that this person there was a DUI. He had a loaded shotgun and loaded handgun in his truck. And what we are asking is more police presence on Fulton Street. We're asking that the city's engineering department take particular interest in that area. And we'd like to get a reinforced guardrail at that T intersection.
So if another car were to go through, it would probably stop it, hopefully.
Thank you, Mr. Montano. We'll certainly take a look at it from a couple different avenues, Traffic Safety Committee as well as our police department and our engineering. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
Next speaker is Pat Byrne.
Pat Byrne, 700 Starkey Road. I've been on both sides of the table in executive recruitment exercises at the $200,000 above level. In a council manager form of government, perhaps the governing board has no job quite as important as this. This may be especially true in Largo, where the commission has shown a striking and consistent hands-off approach to personnel decisions affecting 999 of 1,000 employees, and where this replacement effort comes after an extremely long tenure. As one of 85,000 citizens and 1,000 staff who will be directly affected by this decision, I know of almost nothing about Largo's present undertaking. That, in my personal experience, is problematical and somewhat uncustomary. Involvement of stakeholders in the final decision is totally improper. Greater awareness and input to the process certainly is not. So, tonight I can only ask some cautionary questions. First, has the commission ensured that it is the client? It is the client for this process. Having consulted long and hard, I fully realize that whomever is designated as the client, as the lead on a process, will be the one that the recruiter will be most responsive to in information and otherwise. Largo would not want a process leader whose future in the organization will be determined by the outcome of the search. Second, is the commission monitoring the steps? Largo would want a review of at least some of the candidates excluded in the process so far, at each stage, the criteria used, and who applied these. This is a quick and dirty way of double-checking that the recruiter and any staff who have been involved are adhering to the commission's priorities and advancing or declining objectively. Third, has the commission checked itself from intruding its own biases into the criteria, questions, and vetting process? For example, Largo wouldn't want to be asking questions which presume that the views of 7 people on the city's situation and ways of doing business are universally shared. Such biases, in addition, disable testing a candidate's own due diligence and freedom to suggest anything new or different from the status quo. Finally, the process offers an opportunity to demonstrate communications and engagement. Only as I learned coming in here, the final 4 will be interviewed by the public. So I'd like to see some promotion and some structure to that process. I do hope the commission will, don't think I raised anything that suggests any doubt, but I do hope the commission will double check its work so far so that no one can have any such doubts.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Michael Peltier.
Michael Peltier, 10333, 127th, excuse me, place. Greetings, Mr. Mayor, commissioners, staff, general public. I would like to speak about the revisions to Ordinance 1178 being considered in the work sessions at this time. To remove restrictions on placement of boats, trailers, trucks in the setback is irresponsible on more levels than I have time here today to speak about. But first, a little context. Largo has not always been the pretty town it is today. There was a time about 35 or 40 years ago when the citizens were allowed to have cars, boats, trucks, trash, and so forth in the middle of their yards or in the front yard. Anything goes. Perhaps under Mayor Feaster, consideration to clean up Largo ramped up, but ugly property, as a quote, was not something that could easily be enforced, but only a subjective term. These founding mayors and commissioners were wise to realize certain property setbacks would help to keep the areas cleaner in general, and so it did. And property values went up, and taxes increased, and services were expanded. So does Largo still seek to preserve the aesthetic, attractive residential areas as our neighbors in Oldsmar does? I believe we've forgotten that curb appeal is money revealed. Why are we reviewing this ordinance anyway? One main theme repeated by the community standards manager was safety and reduction of paperwork. It was repeatedly measuring from the center of the road was not safe for the field officers. And I agree completely that standing in the middle of the road is dangerous, so don't do it. Use your measuring wheel to inside curb and safely cross the road, continuing to the other side, turn around, observe the dimension, and go, safely cross to the road back, divide the number by 2, and you've got the middle of the road. One has to wonder what the real agenda is. Another theme was to align the community with community standards with surrounding communities. A nice comparison was shown, but some of the statements were wrong and confusing upon checking. Most cities are tighter with definitions and limitations than we are at this moment. If we remove restrictions as proposed, we may become the new standard setters for unsightly as boats, RVs, and trailers move out of the off-site storage and into neighborhoods where they could not have been before. Displaced parking for domestic vehicles is going to be a big topic. It summons a possibility of preventing utilities, drivers, delivery trucks, emergency vehicles access to our homes. Largo may need to establish and enforce strict parking requirements and signs and fines. I ask again, why are we doing this? I encourage the public to review the archive workshop meetings from September 13th, 2022 and March 14th, 2023, found on largo.com, and learn for yourself. Get involved early, the clock is ticking. Thank you very much for this time to speak about the proposed ordinance Largo 1178.
Thank you.
That's all the cards.
Thank you. Before we move on to approval of the agenda, as you may have noticed, Commissioner Johnson is joining us virtually, so I'd entertain a motion to allow him to do so.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Welcome, Commissioner Johnson. Next is approval of tonight's agenda.
Move approval.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we'll consider the minutes from the regular meeting of July 25th, 2023.
Move approval. Second.
Any corrections? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have a staff report from the CDAB. The Community Development Advisory Board.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Kathy Pepstrobshaw. I am the 2023 Chair for the Community Development Advisory Board, and we call it CDAB. I'll be presenting the report for the 21-22 annual CDAB report tonight. CDAB provides recommendations to the City Commission on programs, projects, and initiatives of the Community Development Department. Many of the goals of the department are reflected in the Comprehensive Plan, the Comprehensive Development Code, or the CDC, and the 2017 Strategic Plan as well. CDAB also serves as the Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board, or we call ourselves CRAB, advising and making recommendations to the Community Redevelopment Agency, or CRA, along with the 4 additional representatives from the city's Community Redevelopment Districts, CRDs. It's a bit of a mouthful, sorry about that. Our duties are to provide citizens input, advise the City Commission and the Mayor, and provide advisory services to the Community Development Department as well. And as you can see, we have our strategic plan focused for 2017 in 3 areas. The first being sustainability. Provided housing grant initiatives, recommendations, recommended comprehensive code updates related to the housing and electric vehicles, with each focus on sustainability, which is an area that I know that we all love. And the second is public health and safety. Provide recommendations for the Vision Zero and property rights element for the comprehensive plan text amendment, as well as received an update on the Largo completed Largo Complete Streets and Roadway Improvement Projects. And finally, our community pride. Spring 2021, we received our quarterly update on the alternate development process for the Skyview townhomes. The project was to construct 16 fee simple townhomes in the West Bay Community Redevelopment District in downtown Largo. Also, we're informed about the Largo Neighborhood Grant Program to help spread the word in the community that the program provides $3,000 of matching grants to neighborhood groups interested in building strong relationships around the community-driven beautification projects and support the city's strategic focus on community pride. In fact, my own community got a $3,000 grant to beautify our homes, and that was phase 1. Phase 2 will be next year, so we work closely with the city staff to make that happen, so thank you. And 2023 plan focuses on housing grant initiatives, downtown redevelopment project updates, code of ordinance updates, comprehensive development code updates, and evaluating equity in the Sustainability and Resilience Action Plan, or SRAP, S-R-A-P? SRAP, thank you. I'd like to thank Kimberly, who's worked with me on the committee as well, and also the staff and my committee as well. So that's a bit of a mouthful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Kathy or Kimberly? Commissioner Gerard.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Great report. Thank you so much. You folks do a great job. I'm wondering if you know how much money is in the Neighborhood Grant Program right now, and how are we publicizing that and getting word out to the public about that?
So I'm unsure of how much money is in that right now. I just know that per program they can do up to a $3,000 match. And usually the way that the word gets out is through our community engagement department. Eileen works really closely with this grant program, and she's actually one of the individuals spreading the word about the program and getting communities involved.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't looked. I probably should, but do we have anything on the city website? Are we doing?
Yes, there is a website, a webpage for the the neighborhood grant program that that can be reviewed by the public, and it shows some ideas for the program. I think it might show some of the projects that have been part of the program on there, and just how to get in touch with community engagement on that as well.
We have things in the library and in, Southwest or the Highland Rec or anything, so people who visit those facilities?
There might be. That's something I would have to touch base with Eileen and get back to you guys about.
I've been an ambassador at various events, and we've handed out cards to talk about that, too. So it is talked about at events when residents are there.
Yeah, I don't know the grants are available as long as there's money in the fund, so it'd be nice to know how much is in the fund right now.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm unsure at this time as well.
Okay, maybe somebody can get back and let us
Yeah.
know. Okay. Well, thanks. And once
Thank
again,
you.
thank you. And you folks do great work, and thank you for, contributing your time to this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith.
And I would echo Commissioner Gerard. Thank you for the report, and thank you for everything y'all do. And the list of members there, I met many of them personally and have known them at a lot of events. So kind of piggyback on Commissioner Gerard saying, it's $15,000 for the budget. And you guys have been promoting because I've seen it multiple times come up on social media, and some of the ideas that people have posted on there, some really interesting ones that I think and staff has engaged them and inform them, hey, submit it and see if it goes through and everything like that. One of them I thought was really cool, and that's something that's caught on, is little free libraries that are in some neighborhoods. So I think that's a good idea. And kind of also piggyback off Commissioner Gerard is we need to also maybe get the word out to like High Point a little bit more and over into the Ridgecrest. Okay. That was where when I was doing some walking, they didn't know much about it. So I think if we could maybe target a little bit more in that area, it would be helpful.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And there's two great groups over there, the the High Point Association over there, Family Association, and then over in Ridgecrest, the Y is a real good source. So again, I thank you and keep it up, and I look forward to this coming year's report.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
for the report. Thank you, Kathy, and all the members of CDAB, both now and in the last year when you were putting this together as well. So next, could I hear the consent docket, please?
Item 5, acceptance of one permanent stormwater utility easement located at 13400 126th Avenue North. Acceptance of one permanent stormwater utility easement located at 13440 126th Avenue North. Item 7, authorization to renew RFP number 13-P-446, group medical insurance for plan year October 1, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 with Public Risk Management of Florida Health Trust in the estimated amount of $15,082,400 upon approval of the fiscal year 2024 adopted budget. Item 8, approval of an agreement for complete streets funding between Forward Pinellas and the City of Largo for the Clearwater-Largo Road Complete Streets Concept Plan. Item 9, award of scope and fee to George F. Young Incorporated for final design of Stratford Drive roadway and drainage improvements, RFQ number 19-Q-666, in the amount of $412,233. Item 10, approval of Home Investment Partnerships Program subaward specific performance agreement with Pinellas County in the amount of $290,836.57. Item 11, authorization to renew the School Resource Officer Agreement with St. Paul's Incorporated for a 14-month period starting June 1st, 2023 and ending July 31st, 2024.
Thank you. You've heard the consent docket. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent docket without commission discussion and including staff background provided in the commission packets.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next is ordinance number 2023-47.
Good evening. Switching roles for a moment. This is the second and final reading of ordinance 2023-47, which is processing our quarterly budget amendment in the amount of $1,812,900 for various personnel and operating and capital needs in various funds across the city. There have been no changes since first reading. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Ordinance number 2023-47, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the fiscal year 2023 budget adopted by resolution number 2337 by appropriating expenditures in the amount of $1,812,900 for various personnel, operating, capital, and other needs as described in Exhibits A and B to this ordinance.
Thank you. Do we have any cards?
We have no cards.
Any questions? Commissioner Holmes.
That's a lot of various. 1,800,000 various.
Yes.
I think one of these years I'd like to see something a little more specific, but anyway. Oh, it's only 1.8 million after all.
So we did transition to this process of a quarterly budget amendment that contains multiple things in it. If
Okay.
there was something much more contentious, we would leave it out. And to avoid approving 20 different ordinances, we combined everything into one ordinance.
Okay. I
Nope.
move to adopt ordinance number 2023-47 on second and final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I just point out, I think the first reading had a more comprehensive list than
It did,
various.
yes. Correct.
So thank you. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank
I
you.
complained about it that too.
You did. Next up is ordinance number 2023-48.
Good evening. This is the second reading of the ordinance that is going to authorize the borrowing of money in an aggregate not to exceed $21 million during fiscal year 23 and 2024 to fund some wastewater capital projects. There have been no changes since the first reading, and as we spoke about in July 11th, we will be bringing a resolution of the specific debt to the commission for approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Ordinance number 2023-48, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, authorizing the borrowing of money in an aggregate amount not to exceed $21 million from one or more lending institutions based on award of a request for proposal, establishing its intent to reimburse certain capital expenditures incurred in connection with the costs of the project as defined in the ordinance, with proceeds of a future non-taxable financing and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Any questions? Commissioner Smith.
More comment. I was a no on the first time, but I thank staff for getting with me and informing me about some of my concerns. So I appreciate that, and I'll be voting in favor. So in that case, I'll move to adopt ordinance number 2023-48 on second and final reading.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is ordinance number 2023-51.
Good evening. This is the second reading for ordinance number 2023-51, requesting approval to amend the Largo City Code by amending Chapter 17, Parks and Recreation, 17-17, domestic animals to exclude dogs and other pets from the George C. McGowan Nature Park, except as provided by city policy. There have been no changes since the first reading, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Ordinance number 2023-51, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending the Largo City Code by amending Chapter 17, Parks and Recreation, by amending Section 17-17, domestic animals, to exclude dogs and other pets from the George C. McGowan Nature Park, except as provided by city policy, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Commissioner Robinson.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that in the agenda item report, it again says that Commissioner Johnson voted nay, and it was myself. I voted against. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. And because I know Commissioner Gerard brought it up in the minutes from our last meeting. So I just make sure it's clear moving forward, please. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commission?
I move to adopt ordinance number 2023-51 on second and final reading.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes 6-1. Thank you. That brings us to item number 15.
Yes, this item is requesting approval of the city policy that was mentioned in the last item, restricting service animals from specific areas of the George C. McGowan Nature Park, and a fundamental alteration caused by the presence of service animals as outlined in the policy. So this policy would restrict service animals from specific areas of the nature park, including the nature center itself, the outdoor deck, as well as any areas where the animals are being walked on a temporary basis when a sign would be placed up that just says that dogs are not available or allowed at that time. And we are available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any cards?
We have no cards.
Any questions? Commissioner Robinson.
Thank you. So I just want to be clear as to, I'm not opposed to this necessarily, and like we discussed when we talked about this the last time, this part of it. But I just want to be clear on how we're going to kind of handle those issues as they arise. Because I'm sure there will be people that will be bringing service animals to the park. And
We would start off with changing the signage out there so that it is clear on the signage, and then moving forward, if someone did arrive with a service animal, we would communicate the policy to them. If we are able to make an accommodation and let them go visit the animals without the dog themselves, that would be done. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they would not be permitted to be in those specific areas.
Okay. And Alan, we feel confident that, I'm sure you do, that this
Yeah, we work
aligns
with,
the ADA.
I worked with Krista and her staff to draft the policy and make sure it's compliant with the ADA. And that's why we're here, because the ADA requires you to make the finding as identified in the motion.
Okay.
And as identified in the policy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Holk.
I was just wondering, we do have somebody on that property as long as the gates are open, there's always somebody there to enforce this, or is it kind of a honesty kind of thing?
There's not always staff there, and the caged animals are outside the building, so that we anticipate the signage would be at those entrances to those areas that says that even ADA service animals are restricted from this area. Okay. But most of the time when during the week especially, and weekends, during the day, there is staff there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gerard.
Thank you. How much of the park will this restrict?
Very little. It's really just the area where the nature center itself is and the surrounding deck. There may be pathways that if an animal is being walked, that would be restricted on a temporary basis, but that would not be on a regular basis.
Well, the deck's very popular and gets a lot of use, but service animals would be restricted from that. But the rest of the park? And how would somebody know if an animal is being walked down one of the trails, one of the paths?
We would put a sign up at the entrance to that path that says, bird is currently being walked. This area is closed off to service animals at this time. So it'd be one of the sandwich boards that you would see that would be temporary signage.
And how often does that happen?
Every day,
For,
several hours between 9 and 4.
so off and on throughout the day?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it's not all the trails at one time, it would be,
Right.
so.
Okay.
My only comment would be a suggestion to make sure that we have, I know there's basically two sidewalks, one that goes to the nature center and one that goes kind of back to the zip line. I know those well. And so a signage explaining kind of the whole rule and the reason for it. You know, there's captive birds here that can negatively react to all pets. Therefore, you know, there's certain areas that are restricted from any animals, and at in some point, you know, kind of explain in layman's terms what the rule is and why it's there. I think we'll have very little problems enforcing it if that's very clear at those entrances.
And we do have some good examples to go from throughout the country and in this area that have signs just like that.
Perfect.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I move to approve the city policy restricting service animals from specific areas of the George C. McGowan Nature Park and adopt the determination that there is a fundamental alteration caused by the presence of service animals as set forth in the policy.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Mr. Zimmett, anything this evening?
I have nothing tonight.
Mr. Gerard?
Thank you. Just one item. We approved a contract last week to fix the lights at the Triangle, and I wasn't necessarily in favor of that, but we're moving ahead, and that's wonderful because they'll be fixed and finally maybe they'll work properly. While we're at it, though, is there a way that we can ask staff to look into or find some way to fix the lettering of the word Largo so it's visible during the daytime? We have large black letters up against a dark background, and it's not visible during the day. At night, when it's lit up, it looks okay. But I'm wondering if we can fix that design flaw. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll hear back on that. Commissioner Robinson.
I just wanted to congratulate again the campers that were awarded today. As somebody who went to Largo camps growing up, I never won any awards.
You didn't?
Never. But and whose kids have gone to Largo camps. It's great to see that tradition continues, and a lot of good kids have come out of there. Even some probably are sitting up here, other than me. So yeah, congratulations to all those kids. They've done a great job, and I look forward to seeing what they do in the future. That's all I have.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Hulk.
Yes, just to echo the same as well, to the congratulations to the citizen campers. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
I have nothing from the Windy City of Chicago.
Nice. Safe travels. Commissioner Smith.
Just FYI for the citizens, and that is coming up at the Largo Library tomorrow. They're holding a back-to-school free cycle event on August 2nd from 3 to 7 while supplies last. Basically, this is, think of it, it basically is a thrift store for free stuff for people to come and get. I attended this a few years ago, and it was awesome to see so many people having fun out there and picking out things and bringing their kids and enjoying their time and getting some stuff that, like I said, other people don't want and other people do want. So I say, like I say, it's tomorrow at the Largo Public Library from 3 to 7, or while supplies last. So stop on out by our library, and at the same time, maybe get a library card and check out some books. And the second is to John, Mr. Mondahano. could we look into this possibility of adding this or something in this area? Maybe engineer, like he's asked for maybe engineering to look at something. But at the same time, I believe this sign is, that the damaged sign is still up, hanging there. If we could get maybe find out, is that our sign? I'm assuming it is. If we can get out there, fix it, and remove it. If it's something, maybe we can work with DOT if it's not ours, or if that road or something like that, I 100% certain it's ours.
That's a city street.
Yeah, but if maybe DOT has something or ideas or something like that, that we can piggyback off on that area and help his neighborhood on that situation. And trust me, that would have woken the hell out of me, having that go through my backyard. Yeah, so if we can help them out, I'd appreciate that. And then the last is Pat Byrne. I thank him for his comments and his questions. I don't usually comment on these, but I thank him for coming out and asking questions that are relating to the candidates for our next city manager, and I think every citizen should. And this city will be advertising. It's like 2 weeks away, literally. We're just finishing everything out, so we are getting it out there for the public. There is a Tuesday host on the 22nd, is it? 21st?
First is the first.
22nd, I think it's a Tuesday. 22nd on a Tuesday, where we're going to have a meet and greet with all the candidates for the public and organizations, citizens, and that will be advertised on everything we put out for the public. So I appreciate him stepping up ahead of time, and I'm 100% sure, confident in our communications team that they will get it out to our citizens to be there to interview these 4 candidates that I thought all 4 of them were great. So come on out, meet them. It will be advertised in Largo. Meet your one of your possible city managers, and thank him for bringing that forward at this time, I guess. What was the other one? The last one. To the other candidates that were on the list, trust me, I'm 100% sure every commissioner up here did their background of every one of those candidates on that list before even the recruiter sent us anything. So I'm confident in this commission of doing their job. So I appreciate that and thank him again. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
You sure of that? Speaking of the triangle, this West Bay Drive eastbound, we're getting some really big divots there at the railroad crossing. If we could kind of fill in those holes, because I think that's our responsibility, that part of it. I mean, you go along there and your car hits those things, it's a serious thump. That's all. Thank you.
Excuse me, wasn't that crossing repaired not too many years ago?
About 4 years.
4 years ago, 4 or 5.
And it's breaking down already?
Drive it.
Well, I do? Well, okay, thank you.
Thank you. I was going to mention Keene Park Drive, Mr. Mondahano's comments, and I know that the second one that Commissioner Smith said. I was pleased, I got to say, I was pleased to see Fort Pinellas and the Complete Streets concept plan for Clear Largo Road. When we started talking about that 3 or 4 years ago, I was really doubtful that it'd ever get to this point, so I'm glad to see that kind of slowly moving forward, but I think in a good direction. I had a meeting a couple days ago with George Feaster from the Lions Club, and he pointed out that this coming year is the 55th anniversary of our sister city, Kami City, Japan, and he and the Lions Club, both in Largo and Japan, as well as a lot of officials over in Japan, are welcoming us to come and visit, and they're kind of working on where in the calendar that might occur. So if you are interested in finding out more, I'm sure that I know some of us up here have hosted visitors from Japan in the past, from our sister city, and might want to go and visit them. So if you are interested, contact me, or better yet, George. But we're working on kind of nailing down some dates. They talked about potentially spring or fall. Spring is coming fast, so I'll let you know more as I learn more. Ms. Pollack.
Yes, thank you. Just regarding Fulton Drive, the engineering department is collaborating with PD currently to collect speed study data for that road. And additionally, PD has put up some, or will be putting up some temporary speed feedback trailers. And we'll be collecting the data and getting back to the commission.
Thank you. Maybe a well-placed oak tree would help
Yes.
too. Any action items?
Yes, it's several things. The first one was a request by Commissioner Gerard for the amount of available funding in the neighborhood grant program. You answered that one, Commissioner Smith?
Yes,
Okay.
Annually.
And then another request from Commissioner Gerard to get the word out in the High Point and Ridgecrest, no, that was Commissioner Smith, sorry. To get the word out in the High Point and Ridgecrest areas about that program. A request by Mayor Brown that signage be created explaining why certain areas of McGowan Nature Park are restricted from access by service animals. A request by Commissioner Gerard that the lettering in the Largo sign in the downtown plaza be repaired so that the letters are visible during the day. A request by Commissioner Smith that the damaged sign in Keene Park and at Keene Park and Fulton be repaired. And a request for repair at the railroad crossing at East Bay Drive in Seminole from Commissioner Holmes.
West Bay.
West Bay.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
No, let me try this out.